Alright, so for my first video making up to Femwolf, I'm gonna be nice to myself instead of going through more Jordan Peele torture, and return to the Dark Knight himself. That's right, we're going to look at Batman the Animated Series again, though the timing of this is pretty bad on my part. This one was always going to get reviewed thanks to a local cat being just as pushy as an interstellar devil-looking fellow, but it's a shame that it's coming out shortly after the fall of one of the most legendary Batmen of all time, Kevin Conroy. So, as a sort of celebration of his work, let's look at an episode featuring not just one legendary Batman voice, but one that celebrates two of them. That's right, this episode we're covering is Beware the Grey Ghost. It starts off in black and white, with an old show known as The Grey Ghost being watched by a young Bruce Wayne, while his father, obviously voiced by Kevin Conroy funny enough, tells him to head to bed soon. However, reality soon mirrors the show, as Batman heads out to a plastics factory explosion, and then to Gotham Bank, where the same note from the television show is written to Batman instead of the Grey Ghost. Thankfully, though in a cold sweat, Bruce discovers that reality is being mirrored. So, Bruce seeks out a copy of the old show with Alfred by his side, though they discover that finding a copy is gonna be difficult due to the production company that handled the show burning to the ground. To help in his search, he hunts down the old actor, Simon Trent, for information, but it appears that the man is on hard times. He needs to pay rent, but he's unable to get new work since most still see him as the Grey Ghost. I guess Baby Doll isn't the only struggling actor in the DC universe. In a rage, he breaks all his Grey Ghost memorabilia, which is a bad move. Honestly, could have sold that stuff to collectors at way high prices and made rent that way. He does end up selling it all, though selling it damaged probably didn't help him much, and it doesn't seem like he's really selling to collectors, so of course he wouldn't get much from it. But after a little sleep, it's all mysteriously back. Wow, he's just legit cursed to be the Grey Ghost forever. You know, that would make for a great story. Back to this one, though. The note on all this stuff calls for him to meet up with him, where we learn that it was Batman calling him out of retirement. So he runs away, which is pretty reasonable. Batman explains the situation, and while Trent tries to leave, a bomb goes off in the museum right before them, so he runs away yet again. After another Batman confrontation, he decides to help out and give him a copy of the episode to get him out of his house, and we get this Grey line.
I used to admire what the Grey Ghost stood for.
I'm not the Grey Ghost.
I can see that now.
You can tell Batman feels dejected. He gets to meet his hero, as well as get close to the answers he needs, but the Grey Ghost he once looked up to is gone now. All that's left is a man who needs to be pushed into helping, and even then, it's done only to avoid fully helping. And the animation really sells it all too. To catch up to the episode, Bruce decides to watch the episode for clues, but can't help getting sucked back into his boyhood state, deeply admiring the show and getting caught up in the story until he figures out how the bombs were being set off. A good old-fashioned RCXD. The police are in position to stop these explosive cars, with Batman assisting with his handy-dandy flamethrower, but the last one falls over as a decoy, with more armed cars coming out from the dark. A mysterious rope, though, saves Batman, and we see he is saved by the Grey Ghost himself, who has finally come around with helping Batman out. After narrowly escaping yet more cars, really, they make it to the Batcave to get down to business. While here, we learn that not only is the Batcave a replication of the Grey Ghost's secret lair, but that Bruce also keeps a fucking collector's shrine to the Grey Ghost in said Batcave. And Trent's reaction to it is pretty nice. The prints of Simon Trent appear on the cars, but instead of this story actually following with this twist, and it trying to be, Simon Trent trying to get back into the limelight by turning to crime, the true culprit is actually the guy Simon Trent sold all the memorabilia to. The guy then goes on a little monologue about what toys can do, slowly making me feel like this guy could have actually been a great version of Toyman, until the Grey Ghost bursts in, and all three get out while the place is blown sky high thanks to, all the bombs his toys had strapped to them. Instead of being sad about his workplace being blown up and him being out of a job, He's more worried that the toys are destroyed. Thanks to this event, though, Simon Trent is put into the limelight once more, as not only is he a hero alongside Batman, but he can be on the screen once more thanks to him being able to upgrade all the film reels into something like VHS and be a star on the screen once more. Kevin Conroy, Adam West, you two legends did a great job bringing Batman to life in various ways. The Grey Ghost was also pretty nice, so props to you, Adam West, for portraying both a man down on his luck and a hero acting out his own reboot.
However,
this episode isn't it. The acting of the two was definitely great, and it's amazing that we got two different Batman together, but the plot is not very tight, and the villain's monologue feels so loosely connected to things. I wish we had more time with Simon Trent as the Grey Ghost, rather than most of his time being down on his luck and as a reluctant hero. Also, the twist at the end with the Simon Trent fingerprints feels unnecessary for a couple reasons. We didn't need him as a short suspect to get us to the revelation that the store worker was the real villain. Also, looking back, the guy used his own hands when touching the memorabilia, so his prints also would have been all over the stuff. It could have been a little better had the real bad guy's prints show up on the back computer and, the Grey Ghost to point out who he is or know where to look for him as a way to be more helpful to the investigation part than just solely relying on the back computer. Then, the reason for him turning to villainy also feels a bit rushed as all heck, given we only have 3 or so minutes left and it's just kinda weird. He did all of it so he could get money just to buy more toys. More reason that he probably could be a great version of Toyman. But also, did you really need to blow up lots of places just to go for $1 million ransom? With his ingenuity of putting bombs on race cars, he probably could have found uses for other toys as distractions while he himself went inside to just steal money from either banks or even gone after the mob. There's cool ways to use a character like this, and it feels like they ran out of time to do such a thing. But I still like the episode. It's not the best, but having two legends is a major plus. Sure, the story isn't that fantastic, but the little bits of the present repeating the past and getting to see Kid Bruce are nice. Those parts were definitely written solidly. Same with the one line I really like. So, as much as I should give this episode a 5 for being filled with both good and bad, screw it. This gets a 7 out of 10. Still not high, but it's at least not a low one. I'm sure Kat will yell at me for not giving it a 10 out of 10 just because it has Adam West, and this is also like a little tribute to both Batman, but I stand by it. And to that point, thank you, Adam West, for being the Caped Crusader to fight in the daylight, while Kevin Conroy was the Dark Knight. You both did wonders for the character, despite the glaring differences between their atmospheres, and thanks for all the memories. Nobody will ever come close to either of your acting calibers or legacies as Bruce Wayne. Bye-bye.